On a dark and stormy night, the Lu family estate has become a battlefield, littered with the fallen. Our boy, Lu Chen, desperately holds his ground, demanding to know why this Shu Tian wants to wipe out his entire family. But Shu Tian just scoffs, declaring that being a stepping stone for him, the child of destiny, is the greatest honor the Lu family could have. Pushed to the edge, Lu Chen unleashes his tyrant demon physique, vowing to cut down anyone who threatens his kin. For a second, Shu Tian seems genuinely shocked by the raw demonic power radiating from our boy's blade. But it was all a setup, as a squad of masked cultivators suddenly descends from the sky, aiming straight for Lu Chen. Before he can react, magical chains shoot out from all directions, completely binding him in place. Lu Chen is dumbfounded, spitting that for so-called righteous cultivators, they sure love a good old-fashioned sneak attack. With our boy completely immobilized, Shu Tian seizes the opportunity and stabs him right through the chest. The villain leans in, revealing his true plan, to devour Lu Chen's cultivation and his unique physique to ascend to the upper realm. Lu Chen collapses, his lifeblood pooling beneath him as his consciousness begins to fade. Shu Tian and his cronies just laugh, cackling over our boy's broken body like it's the funniest joke they've ever heard. As his vision blurs, the only thing Lu Chen can see is the face of the man who betrayed him. With his last breath, he swears an oath that even in death, he will drag Shu Tian down to hell with him. But his overwhelming hatred seems to take physical form, as his blood coalesces with a strange, dark energy. A demonic silhouette, born from his pure rage, rise from his corpse, a specter of pure vengeance. Suddenly, a system notification pops up, finding his desire to kill the child of destiny quite interesting. A mysterious, shadowy figure appears before his soul, offering him the power he needs to get his revenge. The system locks onto its target, Shu Tian, who is currently at the Ascension platform, about to level up his entire existence. The villain celebrates his victory, ascending to the immortal realm while his followers cheer, completely unaware of the vengeful spirit he just created. While Shu Tian ascends, his loyal concubines are back at the palace, celebrating his grand victory. Later that night, the lead woman relaxes in a hot bath, completely unaware of the danger closing in. Suddenly, she senses a chilling presence right behind her, a shadow lurking in the darkness. Before she can even scream, a figure bursts through the wall, shattering her bath into a million pieces. The intruder is none other than our boy, Lu Chen, looking down at her with a predatory grin. She's completely dumbfounded, stammering his name and trying to process how a dead man is standing before her. He effortlessly lifts her by the neck, coldly remarking that he couldn't stay dead while Shu Tian had so many beauties to enjoy. Terrified, she tells him Shu Tian has already ascended and that he should just kill her to get it over with. But Lu Chen just smirks, telling her she's got it all wrong. He isn't here to kill her, he's here to save her. He then reveals a sinister, fiery core in his hand, an offer that's clearly dripping with demonic power. He reveals the item isn't a core but a strange flower, telling her Shu Tian has been lying this whole time. The sight of the flower sends a shockwave of pure terror through her. She recognizes it as the legendary Desire Sin flower, completely dumbfounded as to how he could possess one. Lu Chen just smirks as his system confirms he's begun subverting his first target, a woman named Lu Ruyan. Turns out, his path to revenge is to corrupt everyone close to Shu Tian, which will grant him the power to ascend. The system promises that killing the so-called Child of Destiny will grant him a supreme reward. With the plan laid out, our boy declares it's time to begin, his hand crackling with sinister energy. She tries to put on a brave face, grabbing his arm and claiming she'd rather die than submit to him. But he isn't even taking her seriously, casually using a shadowy cat as a stepping stool to lift her up. He grabs her chin with a cold smirk, informing her that she will now obey him as his personal maid. He whispers that she'll be an obedient little pet, just like the shadow cat he used. But Lu Ruyan isn't broken yet, screaming that she only acknowledges Shu Tian and that hell come save her. Our boy just pins her down effortlessly, telling her not to rush things since she doesn't even know the truth. She's completely caught off guard, stammering as she asks what truth he's talking about. Meanwhile, in the serene upper realm, the man himself, Shu Tian, is deep in meditation. His peace is shattered when a panicked messenger comes flying in, screaming his name. The messenger frantically reports that his lover in the lower realm, Lu Ruyan, is in grave danger. Shu Tian's eyes snap open as a vision floods his mind, showing him the exact scene of Lu Chen holding his woman. He's utterly dumbfounded, recognizing the face of the man he killed, and realizing Lu Chen is somehow still alive. Shu Tian absolutely loses it, roaring that Lu Chen is a lingering ghost who clearly didn't die miserably enough the first time. His attendant panics, reminding him that as an upper immortal, he can't just descend to the lower realm. Seething, Shu Tian orders her to find a female cultivator immediately, and send her to save his woman. The messenger trembles as Shu Tian glares, his mind consumed by a single name, Lu Chen. Back at the Lu family bathhouse, the peace is shattered as the doors are kicked clean off their hinges. A squad of female guards storms in, led by one who screams for the mist they're here to protect. They spot our boy holding Lu Ruyan and immediately brand him a pervert, ordering him to let her go. Lu Chen, completely unbothered, simply brings his hands together with a clap. A shockwave erupts, sending the entire squad of guards flying backwards through the air. The force is so immense it shreds their clothes, leaving them battered and utterly defeated in an instant. Lu Ruyan is left dumbfounded, realizing a Cup King realm fighter was just taken out like she was nothing. Without another word, our boy grabs Lu Ruyan and leaps across the rooftops, leaving the chaos behind. He tells the terrified woman to come with him, promising to show her the real, trash-tier face of Shu Tian. After landing in a secluded grove, she demands to know what he's planning, but he simply says he's here to treat her illness. Lu Chen reveals the truth. The desire Sinflower Shu Tian gave her wasn't a cure, but a slow-acting poison. She refuses to believe it, thinking he's just spouting lies to manipulate her. Instead of arguing, Lu Chen just tells her that seeing is believing and touches her forehead. A strange power flows into her, forcing her to see the truth she's been blind to. Suddenly, a vision of Shu Tian appears, his vital energy being siphoned away from her. She realizes in horror that a parasitic goo worm has been living inside her, feeding on the flower. The whole scheme is laid bare. The flower drains her life force, and the worm sends it all straight to Shu Tian. Lu Chen clenches his fist, telling her the brutal truth. She was never a lover, just a disposable furnace for Shu Tian's cultivation. Her mind shatters as she realizes her entire life, even her parents' death, was orchestrated by the man she loved. The weight of the betrayal hits her. All her devotion and obedience were just fuel for his vicious scheme. Back in reality, Lu Chen coldly asks if she's sick, but she can only mutter in denial, praying this is all a nightmare. He calls her pathetic for running from the truth, and turns to leave, but she cries out, asking how revenge is even possible. Our boy stops, a glint in his eye, and tells her that he has his own methods for dealing with someone like Shu Tian. A spark of hope ignites in her despair, and she grabs onto him, desperately demanding to know his plan. With no other options, she makes a shocking offer. She'll agree to become his personal maid. A smirk plays on his lips as he asks if she truly understands the role, just as his system announces the subversion is 100% complete. She looks up with grim determination, confirming she knows exactly what she's signing up for. With her will broken, Lu Ruyan fully submits, vowing to listen only to her new master. Lu Chen then whisks her away, soaring through the night to a secluded location. Meanwhile, one of Shu Tian's loyal dogs flies through the forest, swearing hell be the one to execute Lu Chen. An advisor with an eye patch then asks the tough question, what should be done about Lu Ruyan, who had an affair with their target? Shu Tian absolutely loses it, roaring in a jealous rage that they should just kill the adulterous pair together. Back in the bamboo grove, Lu Chen tells Lu Ruyan that since she's his maid now, he won't treat her poorly. She warns him that opposing Shu Tian is dangerous, and reveals she's the only one left in her family. The rest are all his puppets. A wave of shock hits her as she realizes this new man is on a completely different level, so much stronger than Shu Tian. Lu Chen channels his restored power, a swirling vortex of energy gathering in his hand. He explains her body has a rare physique perfect for cultivation, which has completely restored his energy, and now she has to take responsibility for him. Lu Chen feels the power coursing through him, thinking that if his spiritual root was whole, he'd already be at the Great Ascension stage. The system chimes in, reminding him that his reward for subverting Lu Ruyan is the complete restoration of his root and cultivation. A glint of pure determination flashes in our boy's eyes. He knows exactly what he needs to do. He turns to Lu Ruyan, but a sudden killing intent freezes him in his tracks. She's completely oblivious, wondering why he suddenly looks so serious. Just then, Lu Chen yanks her out of the way as a barrage of energy blades slices through the air where they just stood. Turns out, one of Shu Tian's loyal dogs has arrived, screaming that he's here to execute the adulterous pair in the name of heaven. Lu Chen just scoffs, calling him out for being a powerful cultivator who willingly acts as Shu Tian's lapdog. The subordinate is absolutely enraged, dumbfounded that this trash-tier cultivator dares to mock him. He unleashes his ultimate technique, a terrifying storm of 1,000 swords, to wipe them off the face of the earth. But as the 1,000 swords rain down, our boy doesn't even flinch, standing firm to protect Lu Ruyan. The subordinate floats above, absolutely certain his grand technique will obliterate them both. With a cocky grin, Lu Chen effortlessly shatters the attack, wondering if this is all the so-called expert has. The subordinate is completely dumbfounded, How could a mere martial artist possibly stop his ultimate move? Furious, he reveals his true power as a great ascension cultivator, unleashing an immense spiritual pressure. The sheer force of his aura slams Lu Chen to his knees, sending Lu Ruyan flying. Lu Ruyan realizes with dread that a high-level cultivator's immortal qi can completely suppress a martial artist's body. Laughing maniacally, the subordinate gloats that trash-tier martial artists without spiritual roots were born to be trampled. He launches a final, devastating energy blade, screaming for them to die while they're pinned and helpless. Pushed to the absolute brink, Lu Chen internally screams at his system, desperately asking where his reward is. Just as all hope seems lost, the system finally delivers, announcing that our boy's cheat has arrived. A surge of familiar power floods Lu Chen's body as the system restores his spiritual root and peak strength. In a flash, he breaks through, reaching the middle stage of the Great Ascension realm himself. The subordinate's ultimate attack, once a death sentence, is now casually batted away with one hand. The old man is completely stunned, unable to comprehend how this trash-tier martial artist suddenly became a monster. Lu Chen just smirks, asking whoever said he couldn't be a cultivator too. Before the goon can even react, he's surrounded by a storm of spiritual swords, completely trapped. With a cold glare, Lu Chen calls him Shu Tian's lapdog and tells him to go to hell. A brutal flurry of blades turns the subordinate into a bloody mess in the blink of an eye. Lu Chen stands over the fresh corpse as Lu Ruyan watches on, completely dumbfounded by the turn of events. Lu Ruyan is floored by his power, realizing that if she follows him, she might finally get her revenge on Shu Tian. She wonders who Lu Chen truly is, knowing that even Shu Tian's legendary sword spirit can't control another's power like that. Just then, the system pops up with a new mission. Seize Shu Tian's sword spirit for a cheat-level reward card. Our boy smirks at the opportunity, and simply tells her to take him to it, and she immediately agrees. They travel to the Immortal Sword Mountain, a breathtaking domain nestled high above the clouds. Elsewhere, a mysterious woman covered in bandages suddenly gets a chilling premonition that something is wrong. Lu Chen and Lu Ruyan, now cloaked to avoid attention, arrive at the base of the mountain, finding the place packed. She quickly explains that entry slots are limited and given by priority, so they better get a move on. They rush to the main gate just as a guard holds up a sign, announcing the last available spots. Lu Ruyan breathes a sigh of relief as the sign confirms there are exactly 2 spots left. They made it just in time. But just as they get to the front, the guard blocks them, stating that the quota for the day is full. The smug guard explains the spots are reserved for a young Master Chen from the South City, on the sect master's orders. He even pats our boy on the shoulder, condescendingly advising him not to cause trouble for such an important figure. Lu Chen has had enough of this trash-tier attitude, grabbing the sign and asking if the guard isn't afraid of offending him. He shoves past the gate with Lu Ruyan, only to be surrounded by a squad of disciples demanding to know how they dare force entry. Unfazed, Lu Chen just stares them down, his power beginning to leak out as he asks what they plan to do about it. Lu Ruyan watches on, realizing these poor fools have no idea Lu Chen is in the Great Ascension realm, far beyond their sect master. With a single word, our boy unleashes a wave of pure, overwhelming energy. The force slams into the disciples, and their swords instantly shatter into a million pieces before they can even react. The arrogant guard from before is left bawling his eyes out, crying over his brand new sword being destroyed. Suddenly, a colossal figure appears, his voice booming as he demands to know who dares cause chaos on his sword spirit mountain. It's the sect master himself, and the beaten-down disciples immediately think they've been saved. Their arrogance returns in a flash, cheering that their powerful master has finally arrived to deal with the intruders. But Lu Chen isn't intimidated in the slightest, stepping forward to question if entry to this sacred mountain can really be bought with cash. The sect master just smirks, shamelessly admitting that the sword spirits naturally choose those with money. Our boy presses further, sarcastically asking if the so-called child of destiny, Shu Tian, also just paid his way in. The sect master floats down, his expression unreadable as he prepares to answer the pointed accusation. He confirms it, explaining that Shu Tian's immense wealth allowed him to meet their strongest sword spirit, Mirror Heart. Lu Chen's face twists in rage, realizing that the wealth Shu Tian used was actually stolen from his own Lu family. Calling the whole system utter nonsense, our boy's aura explodes as he prepares to deliver some long-overdue justice. With a deafening crack, Lu Chen makes his move, tired of all the talk. He erupts in a storm of energy, screaming at the sect master about how bandits like them could ever be considered superior. The old man just smirks, mockingly asking if he's really throwing a tantrum just because he doesn't like his words. Without another word, the sect master unleashes a devastating fiery slash, aiming to end this insolence. But our boy is unfazed, meeting the sword attack head-on with nothing but his bare fists in a chaotic clash. The sect master is dumbfounded as Lu Chen effortlessly blocks his attack, a smug look on our boy's face. He's forced back, realizing that while this kid might be using martial arts, his cultivation level is terrifyingly high. Deciding to stop playing around, the sect master summons his trump card, calling for his spirit, Chenshin, to unsheath. A glowing female spirit materializes right behind Lu Chen, ready to strike while our boy calmly prepares a counter. Watching from afar, Lu Ruyan is stunned, realizing a humanoid sword spirit has joined the fray, putting Lu Chen in a deadly pincer attack. From the sidelines, Lu Ruyan screams a warning, but our boy Lu Chen just smirks as the spirit closes in. In a flash, he dodges her strike and grabs her by the head, completely neutralizing the attack. He pulls the humanoid spirit close, realizing this is the sect master's trump card. With a cocky grin, he decides this so-called ultimate weapon will make for some perfect practice. Suddenly, another spirit, a woman with pink hair, unleashes a massive firestorm, shocking the sect master. But the attack wasn't aimed at Lu Chen. It was a diversion, as Chengxin now has a blade to her own master's throat. The sect master is dumbfounded, demanding to know why his own sword spirit, Chengxin, has betrayed him. He can only watch in disbelief as she holds him down, completely at her mercy. The old man breaks out in a cold sweat, realizing he's been utterly and completely outplayed. With two spirits and Lu Chen staring him down, the once arrogant sect master can only scream his surrender. And so, the dust settles at the Sword Spirit Mountain, with our boy now calling the shots. The defeated sect master is practically bowing, promising to fulfill any request Lu Chen might have. His only plea is to get Chengxin back, admitting that without her, his position as sect master is completely worthless. But Lu Chen just scoffs, telling him he'll consider returning her once he finds a stronger sword spirit to replace her with. The old man breaks down, pathetically promising he'll find whatever kind of spirit Lu Chen desires. Our boy cuts right to the chase, stating he wants the absolute strongest sword spirit in existence. With a cold look, he names his prize, the legendary Mirror Heart. The sect master's face goes pale. He stammers that the Mirror Heart belongs to Shu Tian, the so-called Child of Destiny. Lu Chen just shrugs, casually saying he won't force the issue if it's too much trouble. Instead, he turns to Chengxin, declaring he'll just take her down the mountain with him, leaving the sect master utterly cornered. The sect master completely breaks, realizing that without his sword spirit, his entire position is a joke. Chengxin bashfully thanks her new master for his favor, while the pink-haired spirit looks on, clearly not thrilled. Caving completely, the old man gets on his knees and offers a token that will lead them straight to the Mirror Heart. He pathetically begs Lu Chen not to take Chengxin away, while she just stares at our boy with hard eyes. Lu Chen, cool as ever, simply takes the token, his part of the bargain now sealed. Elsewhere, at Sword Spirit Mountain Peak, a mysterious woman covered in bandages addresses her master. Holding a mirror, she asks if they should proceed with killing Lu Ruyan as planned. The face in the mirror is none other than Shu Tian, and she informs him that Lu Ruyan is already under Lu Chen's control. Shu Tian gives a twisted smile, ordering her to free Lu Ruyan from her suffering a cold command to put her down. Meanwhile, having gotten what he came for, Lu Chen leaves the mountain with his two powerful new companions in tow. The trio finally arrives at a desolate platform, the air crackling with the energy of their mysterious destination. Lu Chen wastes no time, slamming the jade token onto a stone altar to unlock the path forward. A shockwave of power erupts from the seal, marking the entrance to the Mirror Heart's domain. He gives his companions a single, chilling order: stay put and don't interfere, no matter what they hear. With his back to them, our boy strides alone into the misty abyss, ready to face his next challenge. The pink-haired spirit watches him go, her mind racing with doubt about whether he can truly defeat the infamous Mirror Heart. Lu Chen navigates the strange new territory, his instincts screaming as he closes in on a secluded building. Inside, he finds a blindfolded woman who is completely startled by his sudden, silent intrusion. But it's a trap. She's just a herald, calmly announcing the arrival of her so-called new master. Out of nowhere, a man wreathed in flames appears, his face twisted in a smug grin as he calls our boy insolent. But the fiery man was a diversion. The real threat is a bandaged woman, her hand blazing with a sinister purple aura. She explodes forward in a blur, unleashing a devastating slash meant to cleave him in two. The wave of destructive energy rips through the air, aimed directly at our boy. Lu Chen, however, is completely unfazed, coolly remarking that the power of this so-called strongest sword spirit is impressive. In an instant, she appears behind him, absolutely certain she's landed the finishing blow. For a second, it looks like she got him, a silhouette of her blade running him straight through, but the reality is far more humiliating. She only managed to snip a single strand of his hair. Our boy just smirks, letting her know that he doesn't think it's over at all. At that exact moment, the real Mirror Heart awakens from her trance, completely disoriented and confused. She looks up to see the pink-haired spirit, who clearly ignored orders, and demands to know who she is and what she's doing there. Watching from afar, Lu Ruyan realizes Mirror Heart has recovered, but Lu Chen's power is gone, making her wonder what he truly is. Suddenly, Mirror Heart is behind our boy, a blade pressed firmly against his back. Lu Chen isn't worried though. He internally praises her strength but knows his family's spirit control technique has her in his grasp. She's completely confused, demanding he release the sorcery controlling Lu Ruyan. If he refuses, she promises him a fate far worse than death. Our boy just scoffs at the word sorcery, finding her accusation utterly ridiculous. He calmly asks if that trash-tier Su Tian was the one who fed her that little lie. Enraged, she tells him he has no permission to ask questions and digs the blade in deeper. But Lu Chen is just confirming his theory. The Lu family's secret technique is working perfectly. He then dares her to kill him, smugly adding that it's the only way to break the spell, provided she can even land a hit. Taking his taunt as a death wish, Mirror Heart's fury boils over as she promises to grant it. She lunges forward, blade poised to end his life right then and there. But just as she's about to strike, her hand freezes, completely betraying her will. She's dumbfounded, questioning why her own body refuses to deliver the killing blow. Our boy then begins to explain the truth behind the sorcery, the Lu family's secret technique to enslave sword spirits. Turns out that Snake Shutian coveted this very power for himself. It was his greed for this technique that led him to betray Lu Chen in the first place. This ambition, Lu Chen reveals, is what brought about the complete annihilation of his entire family. He points out that while a spirit of her caliber should be immune, she's now kneeling before him, completely powerless. He drops the bombshell. Shu Tian used the spirit control technique on her before she ever became strong. Placing a hand over her head, he declares this is Shu Tian's karmic retribution finally coming due. As he turns to leave, he figures that if she knows his name, Shu Tian must have sent her. He pulls out a communication mirror, smugly telling his old rival that this powerful sword spirit now belongs to him. The horrifying realization finally dawns on Mirror Heart as the pieces of her past click into place. On the other end, Shu Tian is absolutely seething, screaming Lu Chen's name in a fit of rage. The traitor accuses him of being a beast who only knows how to target the people around him. But our boy just scoffs, wondering why a so-called immortal still cares about the affairs of the lower realm. He even mockingly thanks Shu Tian, since using the technique on Mirror Heart made her his for the taking. Lu Chen rubs it in, explaining that Shu Tian's trash-tier technique only works on unowned spirits, a fatal flaw he's about to exploit. And right on cue, the system confirms his absolute victory with a bloody splash of satisfaction. A mission complete notification pops up, granting him a sword spirit rename card for seizing his target's prize. This little cheat item is a game changer, allowing him to straight up steal sword spirits that are already contracted. Our boy declares that he and Shu Tian are not cut from the same cloth. His methods are on a whole different level. He then slaps the glowing card onto Mirror Heart's forehead, beginning the process of severing her old bond. Without a moment's hesitation, he runs her through with his blade, a brutal but necessary step to finalize the transfer. Shu Tian can only watch through the mirror, utterly dumbfounded, as his ultimate weapon is stolen right before his eyes. With a flash of lightning, Mirror Heart reverts to her true form, and Lu Chen now triumphantly wields the strongest sword spirit. To test his new prize, Lu Chen gives the sword a casual swing, unleashing a wave of pure power. The single, effortless slash carves through the landscape and obliterates a nearby pagoda. Our boy can't help but smirk, thinking this divine weapon truly lives up to its legendary name. But just as Hez enjoying the moment, the system avatar appears, announcing the mission's difficulty has just been cranked up. She reveals a brutal new condition. From now on, he must target Shu Tian's blood relatives to earn any system rewards. Meanwhile, back at Shu Tian's magnificent floating palace, the news has clearly arrived. The name Lu Chen echoes through the halls, a curse on everyone's lips. Shu Tian is absolutely losing his mind, screaming that he'll kill Lu Chen for stealing his lover and his divine weapon. Looking into the cracked mirror, Lu Chen just grins, ready to twist the knife by bringing up a little something about Shu Tian's mother. Shu Tian is completely rattled, demanding to know what our boy is scheming with his mother. Lu Chen just gives him a wicked grin, and suggests that maybe he'll forgive him once he becomes his new stepfather. The sheer audacity of it sends Lu Chen into a fit of laughter, even as the connection seems to make him cough up blood. This final insult completely shatters Shu Tian's composure, his face twisting into a mask of pure, unadulterated rage. Back in the real world, Lu Chen is absolutely loving it, cackling at how easily he broke his rival. The system avatar materializes, questioning his boneheaded move of announcing his target to the enemy. But our boy just smirks, asking whoever said he was actually going after Shu Tian's mom. Turns out, it was all a distraction. His real target is Shu Tian's younger sister, Shu Jiaojiao. With his next move decided, he casually looks around and wonders where Lu Ruin has wandered off to. Meanwhile, over at the Sword Spirit Mountain sect, the old geezer of a sect master holds court, and it turns out Lu Ruyan didn't just wander off. She got herself captured and thrown at his feet. One of his disciples pins her down, shocked that the infamous Lu Ruyan would walk right into their territory. The sect master is giddy with excitement, realizing the massive bounty Shu Tian placed on her head has just landed in his lap. He contacts Shu Tian through a communication mirror, mocking Lu Ruyan by saying Lu Chen clearly just tossed her aside. But she's got fire in her, screaming back that he's a filthy beast for even thinking that. The sect master ignores her, getting his orders from Shu Tian to take her head and claim the reward. After ending the call, his greedy eyes linger on her, recalling rumors of her rare dual cultivation physique. The old creep figures, since Shu Tian only wants her dead, he might as well enjoy the perks of his capture first. But just as his disgusting plan forms, the communication mirror in his hand suddenly shatters into pieces. The sect master is completely startled as his communication device shatters in his hand. Before anyone can even blink, a blade is drawn with a sharp ring of steel. A mysterious figure suddenly appears, demanding to know who dares cause a scene. It's our boy, Lu Chen, and he looks absolutely livid. He turns to Mirror Heart, demanding an explanation for all the trouble brewing on Sword Spirit Mountain. She kneels without hesitation, acknowledging him as her one true master. The disciples are dumbfounded, recognizing the legendary Lady Mirror Heart, acting like a mere servant. The sect master is even more baffled. It's common knowledge a sword spirit can't serve a new master. He frantically rubs his eyes, thinking this has to be some kind of insane dream. But it's no dream, as Mirror Heart rises and glares down at the old man, calling him a bastard. With a vicious slap, Mirror Heart sends the sect master flying, demanding he release her master's woman. Lu Chen surveys the trashed hall and the groaning disciples, stating that this pathetic display is far from enough. He sits down, taking Mirror Heart's hand, and declares that this little punishment won't even begin to quell his rage. Gently touching her face, he reminds her of her name and who she truly belongs to now. A dark aura flares around him as he gives her a simple, chilling order, asking if she's about to disappoint him. Mirror Heart immediately understands his intent, her gaze locking onto the terrified sect master. With a simple snap of his fingers, Lu Chen seals every door in the hall, trapping them all inside. The disciples outside panic, realizing their sect master just provoked a monster and they're all about to be wiped out. Our boy then turns to Lu Ruyan, his voice softening as he asks if she was harmed in the chaos. But as she reassures him, he spots a nasty bruise on her arm, and his face turns to absolute ice. Lu Chen coldly asks Mirror Heart if she has the power to wipe out everyone on Sword Spirit Mountain for him. He boasts that as the Lord of Sword Spirits, he can annihilate every last cultivator here with a single command. The sect master, seeing his entire world about to crumble, immediately starts begging for his life. He kowtows on the floor, screaming that he only acted because that bastard Shu Tian forced his hand. The old man realizes this must be the Lu Chen he was warned about, dumbfounded that he could control Mirror Heart. But our boy is completely unmoved, telling him it's far too late for apologies now. The other disciples join in, groveling and pleading for their lives, claiming they were all innocent. Even Lu Ruyan chimes in, begging him to show mercy and spare the sect from total annihilation. Desperate, the sect master plays his final card, whispering that he knows all of Shu Tian's secret schemes. The mention of his arch-nemesis plans finally gets Lu Chen's attention. A smirk plays on Lu Chen's face. He thinks this could be an unexpected bonus. He leans in, telling the old man to spill the secrets if he wants his sect to see another sunrise. To ensure their little chat isn't interrupted, he orders Mirror Heart to completely seal off Sword Spirit Mountain. With the mountain on lockdown, the three of them move to a private room for the interrogation. The sect master tries to play nice, pouring tea and confirming our boy must be the Lu Chen that Shu Tian fears. But Lu Chen is having none of it, coldly telling him to cut the nonsense and say something useful. The terrified sect master finally spills the beans. Shu Tian is gathering forces to locate the Lu family's ancestral tomb. His plan is beyond vile. He wants to use a ritual on the remains of Lu Chen's relatives to track him down permanently. An unholy rage contorts Lu Chen's face as he struggles to process the absolute depravity of his enemy's plan. His fury explodes, and he slams his hand down, cracking the solid wood table with pure, unrestrained power. He seethes with rage, realizing Shu Tian won't even let his family's remains rest in peace. Lu Ruyan confirms his fears, explaining that Shu Tian is likely planning a bloodline tracking ritual. The sect master desperately bargains, asking if this intel is enough to spare his mountain from annihilation. Lu Chen falls silent, letting the old man sweat as he weighs his options. After a tense moment, our boy agrees that the information is indeed valuable enough to spare Sword Spirit Mountain. The sect master bows in profound relief, thanking Lord Lu for his supposed mercy. But just as he finishes his sentence, Lu Chen unleashes a devastating fiery strike right into his chest. The old man collapses, utterly dumbfounded and coughing up blood, asking why he was betrayed. Lu Chen coldly clarifies that sparing the mountain never meant he was going to spare its trash-tier master. Lu Ruyan adds the final word, reminding the dying man that his fate was sealed the moment he dared to offend her. With the master dead, a bandaged woman named Mirrorheart approaches our boy, respectfully calling him master. Lu Chen places a hand on her, a silent gesture of command as she looks up with a flicker of uncertainty. He tells her to prepare to descend the mountain, prompting her to ask if he truly plans to annihilate everyone here. Our boy's cold gaze says it all. His decision is final, and there's no room for debate. He gives her a single condition. As long as no disciple leaves the mountain, the innocent ones will be spared. With his new guard dog in place, Lu Chen decides it's time to raid the sect's treasury for some well-earned loot. Mirrorheart is left alone to carry out her grim duty, watching her new master walk away. From the perspective of the dead sect master, we see Lu Chen, Lu Ruyan, and his sword spirit heading off to claim their prize. They arrive at the scripture pavilion, the heart of Sword Spirit Mountain's knowledge and power. Lu Ruyan is amazed, realizing they've just hit the jackpot countless cultivation manuals that form the very foundation of the sect. Wasting no time, our boy commands his system to filter through the entire library and find the best sword manuals for him and Lu Ruyan. The system avatar happily salutes, immediately starting the search for the perfect techniques for her host. In a flash of red light, the system scans the entire pavilion, highlighting the most suitable manuals among the thousands of scrolls. It quickly finds a perfect match for Lu Ruyan, a manual focused on defense and escape that complements her spiritual root. Seeing an opportunity, Lu Ruyan points out that with the sect master dead, his powerful sword spirit Chengsen is now a free agent, perfect for her. As for our boy's manual, it's a whole different beast, radiating a sinister and overwhelmingly powerful aura. He can't help but wonder what kind of insane, forbidden techniques are locked away inside this ominous-looking tome. Lu Chen gives the system a skeptical look, questioning if this is really the perfect manual it found for him. But the system just smirks, assuring him that whatever is inside will be absolutely essential for his future revenge plans. Meanwhile, Lu Ruyan opens her new manual, her eyes widening in shock at the contents within. She's completely flustered, realizing the manual is about grappling arts of a very different kind. Lu Chen calmly explains it's a forbidden dual cultivation manual, but the pink sword chi it grants has a useful charm effect. He adds that he's also picked out a sword spirit for her, since there's no reason to stick around Sword Spirit Mountain anymore. Lu Ruyan is genuinely touched, murmuring her thanks, surprised he actually found a technique that suits her so well. With their loot secured, our boy declares it's time to head for their next target. As they travel by carriage, Lu Ruyan questions their route, asking why they're going to the imperial capital instead of protecting his family's tomb. Lu Chen reveals the plan. They're in the southern region because Shu Tian's little sister is here. He lays out his cold logic. If Shu Tian can command entire sects, then he needs to build his own force to stand against them. Their driver interrupts, bowing and announcing that they've finally arrived at the capital. Lu Chen steps out of the carriage, his eyes set on the sprawling city, ready for the next chapter of his revenge. Inside their new base, Lu Chen's subordinates bow, reporting that all his arrangements are complete. Their leader confirms the most crucial part. His parents have been moved to a secure location where Shu Tian will never find them. The women are surprised to hear that someone else besides Lu Chen is actually daring to oppose the mighty Shu Tian. Our boy cuts right to the chase, asking for an update on his real target, Shu Tian's mother. The subordinate reports that Lu Chen's prediction was dead on. Shu Tian panicked and moved top guards from his sister's detail to protect his mom. A wicked grin spreads across Lu Chen's face. His bait worked perfectly, leaving Shu Tian's sister, Shu Jiaojiao, wide open. Just then, the system chimes in, unlocking a new revenge mission. Make Shu Jiaojiao obediently submit to him. The reward is absolutely insane, a cultivation method that lets him ignore the mortal world's ascension rules entirely. Meanwhile, we get our first look at the target, Shu Jiaojiao, lounging around and watching gladiators fight to the death. She yawns, completely bored by the spectacle, and demands they bring out that thing to see some real rivers of blood. Her attendant looks like he's about to have a heart attack, but he knows defying her is a death sentence. With a sweaty brow, he reluctantly gives the order to open the gates. A monstrous, furry leg stomps into the arena, sending the gladiators reeling in shock. Turns out that thing is a savage demon beast, which immediately starts mauling the fighters who can't believe their rotten luck. The beast holds a mangled body in its jaws, its glowing red eyes scanning for its next meal. In the stands, the spectators who were just cheering are now screaming in pure terror. Xu Jiaojiao, however, is having the time of her life, leaning over the railing with a twisted grin, thinking this is finally a good show. Elsewhere, a grim parade of carts rolls through the city, each one piled high with mutilated bodies. The townsfolk watch in horror as the corpses from Xu Jiaojiao's little spectacle are put on public display. And observing this entire morbid scene from a nearby table are Lu Chen, Lu Ruyan, and Mirror Heart, their plan clearly moving forward. As a shopkeeper serves their food, Lu Ruyan looks on with a grim expression. Our boy Lu Chen casually asks the man if the parade of corpses is bad for business. The shopkeeper just smiles, explaining that folks in the capital are used to seeing executed criminals. He even claims this public display has lowered crime, but Lu Chen's smirk says he knows that's a lie. Mirror Heart cuts right to the point, wondering why the number of corpses never seems to decrease if the city is so safe. Suddenly, one of the riders from the corpse cart pulls up right next to their table. The rider arrogantly calls out his order for wine, completely unbothered by the dead bodies behind him. He nonchalantly asks for some fennel beans as well, treating the grim scene like any other day. Then, with a sadistic grin, he orders his men to dump the corpses right in front of the food stall. But Lu Chen's had enough, standing up to call the guy out and ask if he's blind to the fact people are eating. The rider, an imperial guard, scoffs at Lu Chen for daring to give him orders, while the shopkeeper desperately tries to de-escalate. The poor shopkeeper pleads with the guard, reminding him that he paid protection money precisely to avoid this kind of trouble. But the trash-tier guard couldn't care less, brutally smashing the man's face into the ground while denying any such deal ever existed. With the shopkeeper bleeding on the pavement, the guard draws his sword, declaring that provoking them is a death sentence. He turns his blade on Lu Chen, offering a simple choice: surrender quietly or be executed on the spot. Our boy just smirks, realizing it all makes sense now. In a city where a kind reminder gets you killed, of course there are endless criminals. Before Lu Chen even moves, Mirror Heart steps forward, telling her master there's no need for him to act as a purple flame ignites in her hand. The guards just laugh, boasting that inside the Imperial City they're backed by the Dragon Vein and don't fear even great ascension cultivators. Suddenly, two mysterious swordswomen appear from thin air, their blades already clashing with the guards before they can even react. The two newcomers stand ready, leaving the once cocky guards completely dumbfounded by their sudden, lethal intervention. It turns out the two swordswomen are connected to Mirror Heart, who looms over them, her voice dripping with menace as she asks if they want her blood. The two immediately fall to their knees, begging their patriarch to calm her anger, revealing a shocking hierarchy. This sudden plot twist leaves the Imperial Guards completely dumbfounded, their arrogance vanishing in an instant. Mirror Heart then turns her attention to the guards, casually mentioning she was just wondering how to get into the Imperial Palace. Our boy Lu Chen just smirks from his table, thinking to himself that their arrival couldn't have been more perfect for his plans. The guards are now sweating profusely, the terrifying realization dawning on them that they've picked a fight with a major power. The leader tries to bluff his way out, shouting that this is the capital and they're untouchable Imperial Guards. But Mirror Heart completely ignores him, turning to Lu Chen and respectfully awaiting her master's orders. Lu Chen calmly sips his tea, deciding that with so many eyes around, it's probably not a good idea to make a move here. Before he can give the order to stand down, however, a massive crimson barrier erupts, sealing off the entire street from any prying eyes. Lu Chen smirks, realizing the barrier means his problem with witnesses has just been solved for him. The guards desperately try to rally, screaming that the power of the Dragon Vein will protect them, but Mirror Heart is already on the move. Before they can even finish their sentence, she's behind them in a flash, and the fight is over before it even began. Moments later, the barrier vanishes, leaving a lone shopkeeper completely bewildered as to where everyone disappeared. His confusion turns to sheer terror as he stumbles upon the grim aftermath of the one-sided slaughter. The Imperial Guard leader's severed head lies on the ground, a testament to the brutal efficiency of Lu Chen's subordinate. As the shopkeeper reels in horror, a cold voice tells him to get out of the capital if he wants to live. It's our boy Lu Chen, now standing over him, calmly explaining that he just witnessed the legal execution of criminals who provoked the guards. He stares down the terrified man, demanding to know if he understands the official story, leaving no room for argument. Meanwhile, across the city, a messenger bursts into the throne room with what he calls good news for Xu Jiaojiao. Aboard, Xu Jiaojiao complains to her attendant, wondering what's taking so long. The messenger excitedly reports that the Imperial Guards have captured a body cultivator, a perfect new toy for her gladiator pit. He even suggests the new prisoner might be strong enough to entertain her pet demon beast, which finally gets her attention. Turns out, the captured criminal is none other than our boy Lu Chen, just chilling in a high-security prison cell. His spirit companion, Mirror Heart, doesn't get it, asking why he's playing prisoner when he could just smash his way through the palace. Lu Chen just smirks and asks her if she knows the true identity of that horse handler they met earlier. Mirror Heart reveals the shocking truth. The handler is the third prince of the southern region, whose family was slaughtered by Xu Tian and Xu Jiaojiao. He was the only one who managed to escape the bloody coup that put his enemies in power. With Xu Tian's backing, Xu Jiaojiao has become the puppet master of the entire region, pulling all the strings from the shadows. But Lu Chen's plan is bigger than just revenge. He's here to expose the Xu family's treachery to the entire world. He explains that Xu Tian's cruelty made it easy to build a secret alliance against him. Mirror Heart is stunned, wondering if she really chose the wrong master this whole time. Right on cue, two officials arrive at his cell, their timing a little too perfect. The lead official offers a deal: survive a test from the Empress, and his death sentence will be wiped clean. Our boy just smirks. Everything is unfolding exactly as he predicted. Lu Chen is then escorted out by guards, the false promise of freedom hanging in the air. When asked what weapon he needs, he coolly replies that he's a body cultivator and needs nothing. They stop before a massive gate, the entrance to the arena where his test awaits. But the official leans in, revealing the offer was a lie just for the other inmates to hear. With a wicked grin, he tells Lu Chen that no matter what happens, he's not walking out of that arena alive. Our boy just smirks, sarcastically finding the official's death threat to be absolutely heartbreaking. The gates swing open to a massive arena where a bored-looking young woman, Xu Jiaojiao, sits on her throne. Standing beside her is the legendary General Yuanwu, a man revered as a god of body cultivation. Servants and guards file in, setting the stage for the grim spectacle about to unfold. The servants whisper in fear, knowing that General Yuanwu is empowered by the dragon vein and seems unbeatable. Completely unfazed, Lu Chen strolls confidently into the center of the massive arena alone. General Yuanwu's eyes narrow. He can tell this prisoner is no ordinary man. His body cultivation is on par with his own. Even Xu Jiaojiao perks up, admitting he looks capable but is confident her beloved pet will win. With a deafening crash, the massive iron gates slam shut, sealing Lu Chen inside. Suddenly, a monstrous demonic tiger leaps from the shadows, lunging straight for our boy. The beast lunges, but our boy catches its massive jaws with nothing but his bare hands. He smirks, mocking the tiger for daring to pounce on a foe so clearly out of its league. Lu Chen remarks that its master has spoiled it, and the beast's eyes widen in terror as it feels his oppressive power. With a roar of his own, he begins to pry the demon's mouth open with sheer, brute force. A sickening rip echoes through the arena as flesh and bone give way under the immense strain. Then, with a final push of energy, Lu Chen makes the entire creature detonate from the inside out. He stands there, drenched in blood and gore, a chilling smile on his face as organs rain down around him. Up in the stands, Xu Jiaojiao is completely floored, screaming her pet's name in utter disbelief. Even the stoic General Yuanwu is impressed, admitting to himself that this prisoner is far more brutal than he anticipated. Her shock instantly turns to pure rage, and she shrieks at her guards to bring her the head of the bastard who killed her pet. Without a moment's hesitation, her Imperial Guards leap from the stands to carry out her bloody order. They swarm the arena floor, surrounding our boy with a wall of steel, ready to dice him into pieces. But Lu Chen just gives them a lazy, condescending smirk, completely unfazed by the cannon fodder. The guards lunge in a coordinated attack. A storm of blades aim to overwhelm him from every angle. Turns out these aren't your average grunts. Their swords glow with the power of the dragon vein. But just as the killing blow is about to land, Mirror Heart materializes in front of Lu Chen, warning him of the danger. She unleashes a wave of pure force, effortlessly blasting the guards and their empowered blades away. Up in the stands, the general is absolutely floored, realizing the man they thought was a random prisoner is the infamous Lu Chen. He immediately orders a messenger to report this to Xu Tian, as Xu Jiaojiao finally realizes who she's dealing with. Her shock melts into a cruel smile. She scoffs that if this is the fool challenging her brother, he's just come here to die. Xu Jiaojiao smugly asks General Yuanwu if he's actually going to lose to this nobody. The general just grits his teeth, declaring that they'll only know once they try. Deciding to handle this himself, he leaps into the arena, ordering everyone else to back the hell off. As a god of the physical path, Yuanwu channels immense power into his warhammer, preparing to obliterate our boy. But Lu Chen just flashes a wild grin, ready for the challenge as he calls on Mirror Heart. The general brings his hammer down with earth-shattering force, aiming to crush them both in a single blow. The resulting shockwave is so powerful, it sends the remaining arena guards flying, forcing Xu Jiaojiao's retinue to shield her. Meanwhile, the frantic messenger finally reaches his destination, bursting in to report the disaster to Lord Su Tian. Xu Tian, communicating through a magic mirror, demands to know what the commotion is about, only to be told Lu Chen is at the palace for his sister. The news hits him like a lightning bolt, his smug demeanor shattering into pure, unadulterated rage. High in his celestial palace, Xu Tian is absolutely losing his mind. He slams his fist on the table, enraged that Lu Chen dared to play such a trick on him. Without a moment's hesitation, he summons dozens of communication mirrors to mobilize his forces. He issues a single, chilling command to all major sects: converge on the Western region capital, because Lu Chen is there. One by one, the faces of his puppet sect leaders appear, all acknowledging the order to hunt our boy down. Meanwhile, back at the arena, his sister Zhao Jiao is calmly relaying the situation through her own mirror. Xu Tian tells her to use the royal army as a meat shield to stall Lu Chen and escape, letting her know that massive reinforcements are on the way. Zhao Jiao just smirks, finding it hilarious that this is the first time she's ever seen her brother so anxious. She glances down at the battlefield, utterly confident in her champion, thinking she's never seen the great General Yuanwu lose in her entire life. She sarcastically tells her brother she's afraid Lu Chen will be killed before his army even gets there. On cue, General Yuanwu leaps through the air like a cannonball, bringing a massive hammer down on our boy. Lu Chen doesn't even flinch, meeting the fiery, earth-shattering blow head-on with his sword. The general scoffs that the man giving Xu Tian a headache is this weak, but Lu Chen just smirks, asking if he really couldn't tell he was holding back. The resulting explosion sends a shockwave across the arena, but Lu Chen stands his ground. He realizes he can't use his full strength, worried that someone named Lu Ruyan might get caught in the crossfire. So when Yuanwu attacks again, Lu Chen casually stops the colossal weapon with a single, bare hand, leaving the general utterly dumbfounded. The self-proclaimed god of the physical path is completely stunned, while our boy looks on with cold indifference. Lu Chen's expression says it all. The time for games is over. With a surge of golden energy, Lu Chen completely overpowers the general's attack. Yuanwu grins, roaring that this is finally a real fight. But our boy just casually flicks his wrist, sending the so-called god of the physical path flying. The resulting shockwave even catches Xu Jiaojiao completely off guard. General Yuanwu smashes into the arena wall, embedded in the stone like a piece of trash. The entire crowd is dumbfounded, wondering if their eyes are deceiving them. Lu Ruyan is left breathless, realizing Lu Chen's strength is on a whole other level. Even the arrogant Xu Jiaojiao can barely process what just happened, her smugness wiped clean off her face. Lu Chen simply stands there, his hand returning to his sword as if he just swatted a fly.